This watch right here is the proof that when watch hunting anywhere, you have to be patient. You have to look carefully because you might find a gem just like this. Let me tell you the story of how I got this watch for half the price of what is listed in the market. So here's the backstory. I was in Japan, mostly watch hunting. I was going from store to store, trying to find good deals, trying to find good watches. But there was this one store in Japan that I was told is a great place for watch hunting. The name of the store is Book Off. It's a store that sells basically everything secondhand. You can find furniture, you can find clothing, jewelry, and of course, watches. And every city I visited in Japan, I went to the local Book Off and looked around, and I really didn't find anything special in most of them. But this one was the very last one I visited, my last couple of days in the country. I was already done at the store. I looked around, I have found some watches here and there, and some things I liked, some things I didn't. But then I decided to take a second look. And this time, at the very bottom of the shelf, I found this guy right here. And the reason I didn't give it proper attention on the first time I looked was that it had the worst condition of a strap I've ever seen in any watch ever. Seriously, it looked like that watch was with the Titanic in the bottom of the sea. That's how bad this strap looked. And I guess that made whoever is in charge of selecting the watches at the store put it all the way down in the shelves, all the way to the back, and on a very, very good, cheap price tag. When I finally got my hands on the watch and was able to inspect it, I realized the strap was the only bad thing about it. Everything else was perfect. I just couldn't believe it. So let's talk about it. This is the Citizen H501-S080479. All right, let me take this off. So what makes this watch so special is the fact that it is a chronograph, but not just any chronograph. It is a square-shaped chronograph. And if you are into this hobby, you know that square-shaped chronographs are not very common. And in fact, they start all the way back, with the most famous of the square-shaped chronographs being the Heuer Monaco from 1969. But this is a very different watch from the Monaco. It's a completely different take. It's not a sporty looking watch, it's more like a dress watch. Of course, I had to replace the rotten strap, and I did so with this leather strap from a store in Japan. And that's it. That's all I had to do with this watch, and it's now perfect. But because of the leather strap and the way it looks with this golden case and its maroon burgundy waffly dial, this watch is a lot more dressy. It's not a watch you would take to a swimming competition. It's more like a watch you would take to a horse race. That's what I do. I've never been to a horse race. One thing that's very interesting about this watch is the magnificent design. You see, one reason square-shaped chronographs are not very popular is because it's not easy to put a chronograph complication into that format. But Citizen did it, and it did it in a beautiful way. This watch looks amazing. It's beautiful, it's full of detail, it's full of attention to detail, and it feels really robust and rich and classy. Something that you could wear every day forever, really, if you want to. Now, this watch is an Eco Drive watch. That means it runs on Citizen's own solar power technology. And that's a technology from the 90s, which places the age of this watch around that decade. And one thing to notice about Eco Drive watches and solar powered watches is that it basically runs for a long time. It runs almost forever. And that's something very convenient. My appreciation for quartz and for solar powered watches has been growing a lot lately. Of course, I love the automatic watches. Of course, I love the manual winding watches. Those are the cherry on top of the watch cake. It's so nice sometimes when you just want to put on a watch and don't even think about anything. So that's when the quartz is there for you. And this one is there for you, for sure. I'm not going to go much into the chronograph mechanics of this watch, but the execution is really, really something else. You can see from the side that the buttons are all squared as well, kind of like the same shape of the watch. And they are so clicky and easy to press. Let me do this on camera so you can see. Can you see it? So you press it and then you stop it and then it goes around. It's very cool. It's very cool. It works like a charm. It's in perfect condition. But let me tell you about the price, because as I told you, this watch was in the bottom of the barrel, is at the bottom of the shelf, hidden under everything else on that book off store. And I got it for, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 17,000 Japanese yen. And that's about $100. This watch is listed everywhere I looked for 220, 250. I didn't buy because I wanted to get a deal or because I wanted to resell it. I bought it because I really liked it. It is a watch I'm proud to have in my collection. But if I decide to sell it someday, I might just get a profit out of it. And that proves to you, my friend, my dear friend, that when watch hunting, you really have to look in the dark places, or the darker corners of that shelf, this store that you probably would pass by and not give a second look. Because that's what I did. And I'm glad I did, because I found this guy, and now I'm a happy owner of a Citizen model. Let's read it again, because it's long. H501-S080479. That's it. That's it. I have it right here. And I'm very happy I do. Thanks for watching. There are a lot more videos for you to watch on our channel, so I hope you do, and I'll see you there.